The music of Disney filled the air, soft and dreamlike, as a young couple stood beneath a white archway covered in flowers. The bride smiled, the groom whispered his vows, and no one around them knew that the man standing there would one day take on the same kingdom that made his wedding magical. It was 2009, and Ron DeSantis wasn't a powerful governor yet. He was just a Navy lawyer from a hardworking family and a man deeply in love with a television reporter named Casey Black. She had charm, confidence, and a spark that pulled him out of his serious shell. Their love didn't begin at a political rally or in some grand office. It began in a newsroom, between late-night stories and quiet laughter when the camera stopped rolling. Ron had always been the kind who worked for everything, no silver spoon, no easy road. Casey loved that about him. And when he asked her to marry him, he wanted something simple, something real. But Casey had another idea. "Let's make it magical," she said with a grin. "Let's get married at Disney." So they did. At Walt Disney World's Grand Floridian Resort, they said I do, surrounded by the sound of fairy tale music, the sparkle of chandeliers, and the smell of roses drifting through the air. The ceremony was small, just family, no reporters, no politics. Ron wasn't thinking about headlines or elections that day. He was thinking about the woman walking toward him in white, about the life they were about to build. When the ceremony ended, they walked out hand in hand, their reflection glowing in the stained glass of the chapel. It was, in every way, a picture-perfect Disney story. But the story of life doesn't stay inside fairy tale walls for long. Years later, that same man, now governor of Florida, found himself in a fierce battle with Disney. The company had spoken out against one of his laws, and suddenly the headlines were everywhere, *DeSantis versus Disney. The irony was impossible to ignore. The man who once married in Disney's world was now standing against it. The internet lit up with jokes. He got married in the kingdom and now he's fighting the king. But when reporters asked if he regretted it, Ron only smiled. "It was my wife's choice," he said softly. "And I'd marry her there again tomorrow." Casey later laughed in an interview. "It's funny," she said. "Our story began at Disney and life brought us full circle." Behind her smile was strength few people saw. She had fought and survived breast cancer while Ron stood beside her through every hospital night. And maybe that's what makes their love story more powerful than any political drama. Because long before the cameras, before the speeches, before the controversies, there were just two people who believed in something rare, that even when the world stops feeling magical, love can still be. From the happiest place on earth to the hardest fights in life, their journey reminds us that fairy tales aren't about castles or kingdoms.
Whose inspiring story of politician would you like to hear next? Tell us in the comments below.